Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy. And today, I have a spicy little brew challenge from Patreon subscriber King of the Depths, who wanted me to build the most hateful deck I could imagine for my expected Eternal Weekend metagame. That's not really an archetype, it's just whatever that means to you, go for it. And generally, when I think of hateful decks, my first thought is, how do I main deck Rest in Peace? Because let's look at the current metagame as described by MTG Goldfish. Grixis, Murktide Regent, Dragon's Rage Channeler, Mystic Sanctuary. They care about their graveyard. Lands, Life from the Loam strategy. Reanimator, obviously graveyard deck. Teamer. All builds play Murktide and DRC, and some builds also play Beanstalk, and any build that is playing Beanstalk needs its graveyard for delve spells. Selesnya Adepts, Knight of the Reliquary, Elvish Reclaimer, Remnant of Excavator. They care about their graveyard. Death Shadow. They're reanimating trolls. The scam builds are even deeper on it. They all play Murktide. Painter is a Goblin Welder deck. Cephalid Breakfast is a graveyard combo deck. Of the top 10 decks in the meta, the first 8 all care about their graveyard. I love me a main deck Rest in Peace if I can get away with it. But what are we doing with Rest in Peace? Because if the top 8 decks in the format all care about their graveyard, that probably means the graveyard is a cool place to store resources. So how do we build a deck that doesn't need that? And what I've gone with is a enchantment toolbox kind of hater deck with just a ton of removal and counter spells in it. The combo here is, if you're planning on having Rest in Peace in play anyway, Helm of Obedience will exile your opponent's deck. That is the Helm Leyline combo. That is the core of Black Stompy deck lists these days, except it also works with Rest in Peace. If you haven't seen this combo before, X tap, target opponent mills a card, then repeats this process until a creature or X cards have been put into their graveyard this way, whichever comes first. If X is 1 or greater, which it has to be, this card just says X can't be 0, it will mill 1 card. Rest in Peace will replace that going to the graveyard to going to exile. Helm of Obedience will say, well, a card hasn't gone to the graveyard yet, I'll do another one, and then their whole deck's gone. Energy Field also combos with Rest in Peace. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you by sources you don't control. When a card is put in your graveyard from anywhere, sacrifice Energy Field. Cards don't go to your graveyard if you have Rest in Peace. Looking at decks across the metagame, the Delver kind of decks, the tempo decks, have like 1 or 2 Brazen Borrowers that can answer this in a main deck. And otherwise, all they're trying to do is deal damage to you, and they just won't be able to do that if you can survive their 1 or 2 Brazen Borrowers. Back to basics, you can tutor for that if you want it. Every deck I listed is low on basic lands. The second most popular deck in the format is Actual Lands. Pretty good card to have. Almost all these decks are trying to attack you to kill you. Supreme Verdict, shut it down. Lavinia, very good against any of the scamming, any of the delving, any of the Beanstalk stuff, plus insane against combo. You just have that naturally in your deck. Ruined Halo is a spicy one. ETB, choose a card name, you have protection from that card name. This can name Murktide Regent if you just need to shut it down. It can name Orcish Bowmaster, and then you don't care about getting pinged anymore. You can name Grindstone and make sure you don't get grinded out. Then you just have to beat Painter with their nuts and bolts creatures because they can't do welder stuff and they can't grind you out. Just a fun little toolbox with 1 Enlightened Tutor to bring it together. I don't actually like Enlightened Tutor as a card. I don't want to play like 3 or 4 of these because generally we're just playing normal Magic, and then at some point it'll be like, okay, time to win. Find Enlightened Tutor or find Helm, and we go. My original build of this deck, I realized that I could not actually win the game without Helm of Obedience, which was a 1-of. So if it's Thoughtseized and puts into exile, GG. I added the Lavinias later, and to actually win the game, 1 copy of 4th Aerolingus, and 2 copies of Mist Hollow Griffin, which might seem like a silly choice, but you can pitch it to force, cast it later. Anytime it dies with Rest in Peace in play, it goes to exile. If it dies before Rest in Peace is in play, when you find Rest in Peace, Griffin ends up in exile. This is crushing inevitability if your opponent can't actually do anything, which is the goal of this deck. This is a true blue, actual stop all your game actions and then kill you with whatever's left control deck. These have been kind of hard to justify in Bowmaster World, and I'm hoping that the Rest in Peace energy field, the pile of removal, all this adds up to a reasonable way to combo over the top of or completely shut down the Bowmaster decks. We'll see if it works. Maybe I just get absolutely shithoused here and my read is wrong, but I think Rest in Peace is a unit in this metagame, and I'm excited to play it. I didn't mention Spell Snare. Orcish Bowmaster, Seek the Beast, Petty Theft, Life from the Loam, Painter Servant. This just hits a lot of important cards in the format right now, and I wanted to try one copy. Okay, let's do it. This is King of the Depths, Eternal Weekend, Rest in Peace Hater deck. 3-for-1 Trading is one of Europe's leading Magic the Gathering retailers. Their online shop has a fantastic selection of high-end Magic cards, especially for vintage, legacy, and old-school players. They now exclusively offer the BoshNRoll community free, fully insured, and fast worldwide shipping on all their high-end singles, full sets, and out-of-print sealed product. They upload new cards every Wednesday with weekly sale offers and reductions. Use my code BNR0723 to get free worldwide shipping on your first order over €341, approximately $380. Scan the QR code or go to shop.3for1trading.com. I'm on the draw in round 1 against Easy Money Marksman, who is a known Legacy League grinder, usually just playing some top deck. So we will see if this holds up. I am in my Island Ponder Keep bullshit here. This is exactly the type of deck where Island Ponder Keep was born. It was from an era where I was stress testing how few non-basic lands I could put in a deck. When Prismatic Vista was printed, I actually played Blue-Eye Control with 0 basic lands. Or 0 non-basic lands. That was not the correct number, but the deck was a lot of fun. Okay, so Underground Sea could be Grixis something or other, or could be a combo deck. I have Force of Will in my hand, and I would like to hit my land drops and draw these 2 removal spells if they are Grixis something or other. Okay, they are, in fact, that. Could just be blue-black also. I hid the 2 removal spells on top in case they are Thoughtseize Grief sort of situation. Tutored an Underground Sea. And this is one of those decks with like 1 or 2, or between 0 and 2 outs to a energy field. Okay, there's the Reanimate. I think I do want to force this, though. Yeah, without the Rest in Peace, I could just put Energy Field in play and hope that they never Wasteland me, never Thoughtseize me, and that I draw a Rest in Peace before I have to crack a fetch land. That doesn't sound like the way. I could try to force this, pitching the Energy Field, which gets rid of one of my lock pieces, but the Supreme Verdict is multiple turns away. I am going to try to put up a fight here. Sucks to force into the Daze deck, but okay, we got away with it. Energy Field is in exile. I am actually going to Brainstorm right now before they have access to Orcish Bowmaster. There's the Rest in Peace. It was there. I could have taken the line. I'm a coward. Okay, I'm going to put Tundra and Rest in Peace on top. Or Tundra's Supreme Verdict. Which of these do I actually want to hide more? I want to hide the Verdict. Because if they discard me and reanimate this turn, it'll be too late for Rest in Peace, but it'll be perfect timing for Supreme Verdict. Brainstorm. Okay. We still know about this Underground Sea because they fetched last turn after tutoring a sea. And the fact this deck has 3 Underground Seas in it, I suspect this to be full scam and not Death Shadow. That's usually how you can tell. Death Shadow has 1 or 2 Underground Seas, and then a bunch of Watery Graves, and then Scam just has the full boat of seas. There it is. Okay, opponent appears to be representing a Bowmaster. They didn't have a Daze last turn. Let's see how they feel about Rest in Peace. It's in there. I no longer care about Reanimate or Murktide Regent for the rest of time. Wasteland. That will not find any purchase here. Hard casting at Grief. Disappointing, but okay. They probably take the Verdict, because that's the one that can answer Grief. Sucks I had to pitch that Energy Field. If only I'd known Rest in Peace was there. I'm going to fetch an island. I don't want that Tundra that's on top of my deck right now. I can't get to 4 colors for the Grief anyway on Prismatic Ending, so I'm not going to expose a red source to Wasteland. This is actually a little bit of a problem. I got 5 draw steps to answer this thing. Ponder resolves. They chose to shuffle. Brainstorm. I could just fluster this, but I still think I'll have a better home for that. Prismatic Vista. Okay. At some point, I'll just have to cantrip with Dress Down, but I'm hoping not to do that without some value. There's another Supreme Verdict in my deck. All my plows are still in there. Truly just shattered about this energy field decision that I made. We're getting close to having to Dress Down for emergency purposes. I think I probably want to do it now. That gives me a turn to ignore Bowmasters, if that's what is appropriate to be doing. Mist Hollow Griffin, what's up? Alright, Force of Will. Cool. Alright, well, I'll play this Mist Hollow Griffin. That's half of blocking Grief. We're in there. Grief currently doesn't have Menace, but it'll get it back when Dress Down dies. Okay, 8 creature is good. Lavinia is good. Mist Hollow Griffin's good. Swords to Plowshares. Instantaneous Comfort. Brainstorm happens. Getting soloed by this hard-ass Grief is a bad start. Maybe I should have just trusted the deck on that Troll of Khazad-dûm. No, impossible to draw Swords to Plowshares. Why would that ever happen in my deck built to do that sort of thing? Okay, I'm at 3. One more draw step this game. They're playing out land number 5, probably representing a Force of Will. I didn't attack with my Griffin because I didn't want to just be like out 1 to a Bowmaster. Swords to Plowshares. Brainstorm, okay. Well, ready to eat shit to Bowmaster here. Well, okay. This was a known concern. Force Fist, pitching Fluster. And they've sculpted their hand this entire game. I'd be surprised if they can't counter this or just play another one. Yeah, all right. You got me. Because I was a coward, I had to pitch my hard lock. Disappointing. I'm almost completely pre-boarded for this matchup. Like, what do I even do here? I could bring in Mountain plus Blood Moon. I would be cutting Force of Wills to do that, probably. It's just another land and a way to lock them out. Pyroblast hits some stuff in their deck. The important cards are black, is the issue. Lavinia's fine here. Maybe I don't need the basic Mountain. Though they're a Wasteland deck where I care about Pyroblast, which is exactly where you want basic Mountain. Could also just not bring in Pyroblast. Maybe that's fine. Cut 2 forces for Island Blood Moon, or Mountain Blood Moon. Okay, I'm going to try it. Keep this handful of Bee Storms. I can deploy both of these before Bowmasters is on. I'm going to play my Vista. Flooded Strand can get the duels if I want them, and I already have the other 2 basics. They both get basic Island, which is what I'm going for here. There's the Rip. I like that. I am just going to Brainstorm now while the getting's good. Swords to Plowshares. Nice of you to show up. I don't need this Mountain or this Volcanic Island for a while. I can fetch the Volcanic Island if I want it. But the only red cards in my deck are the 3rd pit for Prismatic Ending and the Blood Moon. Fetching a Sea in the end step. And cycling a Troll. I have Swords to Plowshares for the Troll this time. I don't need to pitch my hard lock. Stealthy Voidwalker. I'll fetch in response. I am just going to get a Tundra here. They've made their land drop already. Draw for turn. Swords to Plowshares. This. I want to answer the thing that's in play before I worry about the things that are not in play. And if they daze this Rip, I have another one. Yeah, that's fine. Stone Rain. Your turn. Okay. Just replayed their Sea and passed. This smells like a Orcish Bowmaster all day, every day. How about Rest in Peace again? Ding. And I could play this Lavinia, but I don't think she matters here. I'd rather Brainstorm in response if they go for a Bowmaster. And now I actually do care about my cards in the face of the daze. In my land, play Lavinia. This turns off Force of Will, and they have to hardcast their dazes. Can't scam anything. Didn't like that one. Alright, it's gone. 2 for 1. We'll take it. Hymn to Turok. Bowmaster, Brainstorm in response. Sick. I can just snare this thing. Or I can let it get caught up in the Verdict next turn, but the snare looks really nice here, actually. But shuffling away all these good cards, that's the problem with Brainstorming on a situation you're already happy with. I think I'm going to put back Verdict, Dress Down, and then snare this thing. Spell Snare. I suddenly don't like my situation that much. I gotta hope that their hand is really affected by Rest in Peace, just like 3 Trolls, or 3 Murktide region, something like that. Some combination of trolls and mercs. Okay, they just cycled a troll. That one is a land drop. Watery Grave, that's just Underground Sea, number 5 in the deck. I don't expect that shadow. Hey yo! Pew pew. We have the lock. Oh, force pitching days. Yeah, you better. Okay. Got another Hymn to Turok. They're down to 1 card in hand. Now I like my spot. Even if they hardcast Grief here, I can plow it. And then we're just both drawing off the top, where my deck's full of bangers and there's basically has Griefs and Bowmasters in it. I'm going to hold on to this land for brainstorm considerations. Petty Theft might rip. Okay. Are they going to try to thread together a reanimate turn, or is that just because it was there? If they grief me here, that's actually really good. Okay, they have unlocked their deck. I'm going to plow the grief. They get to take the rip. Then we're both in top deck mode, but they have a 3-power thing on layaway. Prismatic Ending. That looks like it'll find a target. Cycling Lorien Revealed. Okay. Mystic Sanctuary. Rebuying Lorien Revealed fucked up. Okay. That was pretty good. Griffin. Cool. That interacts favorably with Brazen Borrower. There's the Brazen Bee. I won't say happy, but willing to make this trade. That's what it's for. It's there to die and come back later. The next Rest in Peace sets me off, but they get to reveal Lorien this turn. A potent effect in the mid-game. I think it's safe to say. I'd love a 4th Aerlingus right now. Killing me, deck. And with all the hate pieces, I don't have traditional card advantage engines. Like my Narsets are in the sideboard. I don't have Jace or anything like that. Maybe this deck wanted a 1-ring. I don't know. Still going to play Drago with them for as long as I can. They're not threatening me right now. Now they are. I'm taking my 2. I have the ending for the Bowmaster currently. A spell. Oh my goodness. Target Bowmaster with Prismatic Ending. Hope this works, because if it doesn't, this Brainstorm's pretty bad. Bowmaster. Fuck. Alright, well, Brainstorm's still pretty bad. Remember when I said in the deck tech that decks like these have had a hard time holding up in Bowmaster's world? That's what I was talking about. I'm gonna give myself another opportunity to draw a removal spell before I fire this Brainstorm into Bowmaster. Ransom. Shit. Jesus. Alright, well, I don't think I can beat any of this. I'll just put the other Ransom and then all the other cards. And they took the other Ransom. I do play a Caracas and they just made this thing legendary. That's a draw. Just need a Supreme Verdict. They're both in there. Ruined Halo. Okay. That's fun. Oh no, there's a pause in my draw step. Why is there a pause in my draw step? Surgical Aim, Prismatic Ending. Sure. Have a peek. You can't name Orc Army because it's not a card. I can name Orcish Bowmaster, and at least I don't get pinged by the Brainstorm. Ruined Halo. They're ransoming in response. Another Bowmaster. A Ponder and Wasteland versus another Bowmaster that I'm about to turn off. Alright, yeah, I mean, this is fine enough, I guess. They took the other Bowmaster. They should ping me right now before they can't anymore. I'm gonna name Orcish Bowmasters with Ruined Halo. And if I Brainstorm, this thing still becomes a 6/6. Or, nope, 8/8. Maybe I just wait a turn. Yeah, I think I have to wait another turn on that. They're holding Delta Bowmaster. I can't take damage from the Bowmaster. Still attacking, though. The Ring Bearer gets to loot. Correct. There goes the Delta. Maybe end step is where I play this Brainstorm, or... No, I should take my draw step for the turn and see if I just find an answer to the Orc Army, which is the thing I'm worried about here. Well, I didn't, so Brainstorm, let's go. If they have Brazen Borrower plus... Oh, they had another minor misstep. Cool. I'm quite certain I denied them one of those earlier. Alrighty. Guess I'm just F6'd. I can take 3 if they flash in the other thing, and I need a spot removal spell for the Orc Army. They didn't flash in the other one yet. Oh, they made this the Ring Bearer. Interesting. That's why they have to attack with it, okay. Time for a 6-mana troll. I'd still take a 4th Aerlingus here. I'm not too proud. Supreme Verdict. Supreme Verdict. Oh my goodness. Alright, well, I'm dead. That was a lot of lands. Yeah, game 1, pitching the energy field, I could have taken a high roll on that one and like But I would have had to pitch the Brainstorm that found the Rest in Peace, so I think I would have just died to the Troll if I did that. No card advantage engines of any kind came here. Let me look at the deck real quick. This might be a deck building issue. Yeah, I have card selection, but only 4th Aerolingus for card advantage. Maybe the Narset should be in the main, just for those mid-game refuel situations. They did have to Force of Will and Energy Field, though, so moral victory. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the draw for round 2. I'm going to keep my hand. Island Ponder keep. Yeah, on the subject of card advantage, like I was mostly aware of that when I constructed the deck. I didn't want to play Lorien Revealed because I can't Mystic Sanctuary in my Rest in Peace deck. Enlightened Tutor, 2 lands. I don't think I want these. Shuffle it. I didn't want to play Jace because kind of the point of this deck was to sidestep the format, and shoving Jace into the format full of Bowmasters and Lightning Bolts. Like, the best deck is Grixis, and Jace sucks every ass against Grixis. I did have Comet in one build, but once again, Comet uses the graveyard for one of his abilities. It's just kind of a tough sell across the board on any of these engines that I would like to play. I think Narset's probably the right one, because she is a hate piece that also is a card advantage engine. Looks like we're against some Death and Taxes here. That's fun. There's the Helm. Alright, so it's just a matter of finding Rest in Peace, basically. I could plow this, then Brainstorm. Yeah, I think that's better than just putting Lavinia into play. I plow this idiot. I can Brainstorm and Ponder here. Lavinia not really for this matchup. And by not really, I mean not even a little bit. I put back Plateau and Lavinia, and then get a Ponder fired in here, just looking for Rest in Peace so I can run to the exit. Flusterstorm also not for this matchup. I would like another Ponder and Brainstorm, though. I have Force of Will. If they play another Spirit of the Lab, I can force it, and then unlock my hand. Thalia sucks to suck. If they play a Spirit now. Okay, Stoneforge. Mostly whatever. There's the Cauldra. This has been the slowest, fairest Death and Taxes start I've seen in a very long time. I'm going to start with Ponder. I know there's a Flusterstorm there, but I'd really like to find one of my rips. The Back to Basics versus 4x Basic Planes. Shuffle. Ruined Halo. Can't name Germ Token, unfortunately. I'm just going to pass here. If I Brainstorm now, I can't hold up Force of Will. And either way, I see the same 3 cards and can't shuffle. Sanctum Prelate. Well, glad I held up Force of Will. Yikes. I'm still under the gun to this Cauldra. Taking 7 here. That's a lot. For those keeping Dragon Home. Rest in Peace. Blooded Strand. Okay, I'm going to Brainstorm. Prismatic Ending. That was a good find. And I could get rid of this Flooded Strand. I have a fetch anyway. Exile the Germ Token. They could still put Batterskull in. Oh, they revealed Yorion at the start of the game. I was busy talking about how my deck's misconstructed and just didn't even notice that. Field of Ruin. Well, I got plenty of stuff for that. Thalia's getting in. Do I want to fetch non-basic and just make them use their field? Yorion's in the hand. I have to fetch something. Okay, so I will. 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm almost dead on board here. I suppose if they Field of Ruin me, that could thin out my deck. Alright, they just let me have the draw. How do I win here? Rune Halo can't name tokens. If I just slam Helm of Obedience into play, what happens? Then I can rip Rest in Peace for the win. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're very close to just equipping Cauldra, but I can't beat that anyway. I'll play the Helm. I could even Helm them for 1 and maybe come up with a blocker if I need to. Tough beats seeing half my deck and not seeing a 3 of Rest in Peace here. Here comes the B-Skull. Oh, right, they couldn't Field of Ruin me, because then they couldn't B-Skull. Okay, please don't have a land in your hand. There's Yorion and 2 mystery cards. Outrageous. Wasteland me. Wasteland me. Oh, they know how to activate their stuff. Okay, I guess I'm gonna try to get a Flicker Wisp here off the Helm of Obedience. Or Solitude. Horror Plains. Okay, we're dead. Woof. I did not really plan for this matchup because it's not really part of the metagame. It's like a top 15 deck or something. Lavinia is not great. Flicker Wisps can remove energy field kind of stuff. Back to basics, not great. I actually do want Narset in just for the card advantage. I want the basic in just as another land. Flusterstorm's not very good here either. Meltdown can mess up Aether Vials and some equipment. And Blood Moon's kind of interesting because although they are mono white, they are also a deck that has chosen to register a bunch of non-basic lands. Like not every card in their deck is a basic plains, and I wonder if Back to Basics or Blood Moon is better, and it's probably Back to Basics. I function better under Back to Basics. And it pitches to Force. Okay, let's go. Narsets are in the main where they belong. Okay, I will keep this hand. It has a removal spell, a tutor spell, and 4th Aerolingus, which is actually the exciting thing going on here. Plains go. Caracas, okay. I'm not going to Enlighten Tutor right now. I don't even know what I'm looking for. Oh, E-Tutor can shuffle my Ponder. Busted. Oh, maybe I should have gone Flooded Strand here, because I do have the basic Mountain. That could have got to play on all basics. I think I'll live without it. Speaking of playing on all basics, they have a Caracas. I have a Back to Basics. If they just play Thalia this turn, it's not a great solution to my problem. But I am going to take this card. And I'm probably not going to shuffle with E-Tutor. Just hitting land drops here. Pretty sweet. Thalia, yep. I can Prismatic Ending that without even paying extra. Because of the rules. Yeah, that's gone. Let's see what the follow-up is. Is 4th Aerolingus good here? Surgicaling my Prismatic Ending. Okay. Well, now I don't have to shuffle my deck with Scalding Tarn. I'm glad I didn't Enlighten Tutor. Surgical, just shuffling away Enlighten Tutor. Embarrassing. But now they see the Back to Basics and the 4th Aerolingus and can plan accordingly. I'd really like to save this E-Tutor for when it's Rest in Peace time. Also, what are they doing with Surgical in their deck right now? What did I show you in Game 1 that indicates that might be something I'm doing? I actually showed you Helm of Obedience, which tells you I'm a Rest in Peace deck, which counters your Surgical Extraction. Weird. But okay. Carry on with your whatever this is. Rashad and Port. Please port me. I'm begging you. Okay, we go to my turn. They do not port me because they remember that I have Back to Basics in my hand. I'm going to fetch the Mountain and just shove this thing. This is why I left it in. There are draws that aren't just 5 basic planes. Also, I'm pretty sure every removal spell in their deck is an exile thing. Skyclave Apparition. Okay. Played around it. They did remember. I never thought they didn't. That's why they didn't port. And I wanted to at least put that in. Maybe I'm supposed to put Mist Hollow there. If they're just farting around. Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, if I 4th Aerolingus for 2 horses and plow their idiot, that actually sounds nuts. Okay, 2 islands, 1 tundra, 4th Aerolingus for 2 horses. These have trample. So I'm actually going to attack first, because if I can get them to pitch a Solitude here, that's kind of the nuts. I can let them go to blocks and everything, and I just don't care. They also might not block to leave a creature back to take the initiative with, or the Monarch with. Okay, cool. I have the thing now. And I'm just going to plow, because that's what's going to happen anyway. They have this Wasteland, they can force the action. Literally, they just go to their turn and go to combat. I have to plow anyway. Okay, I have the Monarch. I am a king. This is where they Palace Jailer me and just take it back the old-fashioned way. Stoneforge Mystic, okay. How sick would Seal of Fire be in the Enlightened Tutor package? To spend 2 cards and a draw step, so 3 cards to shock something. Cauldron Complete in the bank. They tapped their Wasteland to do that. I like that. Recruiter of the Guard. Okie dokie. They did have to spend this turn developing because I have 7 power in play and I'm drawing 2 cards a turn. But next turn, they can waste my Tundra, port another land, probably Plains, just cut me off a whole color. Solitude, pretty nice to have. They're on hardcast mode with it next turn. In my upkeep, is there an artifact or enchantment in my deck that helps me here? I kind of just want to find a Rest in Peace naturally, because Enlightened Tutor wins the game if I find a Rest in Peace, whereas it's just sort of like nothing if I don't have the other piece already. Okay, put back Plains, and the Force of Will kind of fucks here, because Miss Hollow Griffin sends it, but then I can't shuffle unless I Enlightened Tutor. Am I just supposed to play the Miss Hollow Griffin, get rid of the Force of Will? I see that Solitude over there. Okay. I am going to get rid of the Force of Will. Though, is Rune Halo actually helping me here? What does that do? Nothing. Okay, never mind. I'm keeping the Force of Will in my shuffle. And Cauldra is going to get the initiative anyway here, or the Monarch anyway here, so I'm just going to attack with everything. Push as much damage as I can. And I do want to shuffle before my Monarch trigger, because I don't want those cards. Grabbing another Plains here lets me do everything I was trying to do. There's the Griffin. You get the Monarch. But I am pretty good at bashing it back here. If we just want to poke the Monarch back and forth, they can't hardcast Solitude and put Cauldron into play this turn. They could just hardcast Solitude, exile the Griffin, attack with what they have. Aether Vial, right on time. I can't just grab an energy field because they have Wasteland. Oh wow, they went through combat? They're just letting me keep the Monarch? Fascinating. Alright, now I've untapped with Force of Will. They're still not going to trick me into this Enlightened Tutor. They went after the mountain. I guess that might look important if you don't actually know what I'm doing. Ponder. Swords to Plowshares. Okay. Well, that's really good. Don't shuffle, play my island. They can Cauldra as a blocker, I guess. They could juke me with Batterskull. I think I'm just going to send the flyer in. They're going to hang back and represent Batterskull. I don't have to play into their cards. Now I can hold up Force or hold up Plow. If I Enlighten Tutor now, I get to draw a card that's not the shitty land that I don't want. But I think holding up my interaction is more important. I also left back enough that I could just put 5 in front of Cauldra. Okay, it was Cauldra. Defense Cauldra the whole time. If they Wasteland me, play a land, move to combat, burn off the mana, I can't force a Solitude. If they just main phase Solitude, I'll force it though. Okay, I get the block here. This lets me keep the Monarchy. My tokens get exiled. They were not sticking around anyway. It's cool. Is there an artifact? Like maybe Court of Grace should have been in this deck. Artifact or enchantment that just draws cards on a stable board, because this Enlightened Tutor has just been in my hand the whole game, and it has not been good. I think I have to just fire it here, because I'm about to draw another land, which does not help my situation at all. What would I even get, though? I could just grab a Helm, put it in the bank, but then I'm drawing Helm. That's not much more helpful than a land. This isn't just like a pure shuffle. Alright, I'll just take the land. Porting my mountain. I'm going to play the other mountain from my hand. Keep them guessing. And I can push them to 3 life here. Sounds like it's worth doing. Like, I don't care if they have the Monarchy if they've lost the game. So, I don't want to hold back potentially lethal damage next turn. Something's happening in the instep. Oh, they did have the Batterskull. I told you. Told ya. It was there the whole time. Another Force of Will. Alright. Now this gets really spicy. Once again, I am 28 cards through my deck, plus whatever the cantrips have seen and shuffled away, and without seeing my 3 of Rest in Peace. Which would have won this game at any point. Field of Ruin. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm actually out of basics. That's a strip mine. Okay. I'm going to block the not trample thing, and I'm going to plow the trample thing. This gives up on the damage race, but also they have Batterskull. I already wasn't racing them on damage. Might as well keep the Monarchy. And this Mist Hollow Griffin is on blocking duty. Shit. They figured it out. Yeah, I actually play 7 basics, and they are all accounted for. That's fine. I can still Force of Will second main if that's what needs to be done. I kind of hope they cast literally anything here, because this force is just rotting. Literally anything. Including Sam, but especially Sam, because it picks up the field and they have the Caracas loop going. Get out of here. Should Moat be in this deck? Now, most creatures in the format fly. Moat's only good against actual death and taxes. Still porting me off red. Can I get a spell? Absolutely not. I think I want to play the Flooded Strand to maximize for top decking a Brainstorm here, which is what needs to actually happen. Swords of Plowshare is very happy with that draw. We can cling to life, stay alive here. There is a plateau that I can still fetch with Flooded Strand. 3 mana in the pool. If they start moving towards Yorion, I'm going to need to find that Rest in Peace or Helm, like yesterday. Vial on 3 is also messed up, because now Flicker Wisp breaks up my combo. I know their last card in hand is Solitude. If I Force of Will this, then the Solitude happens. Maybe they'll only attack with one creature again. Alright, no, they figured out how to attack with more than one creature. That's bad for me. Well, I've lost the Monarchy, and I'm top decking. There's nothing worth plowing here. At some point, I hope to get a big exchange off of a Cauldron or something. Or maybe I could just draw a goddamn Rest in Peace. Continue porting my mountain. Go ahead, please. Rest in Peace. Oh my god. Sweet relief. Okay. Rest in Peace, pretty solid. They have Solitude in their hand plus something they just drew. I'm going to play Rest in Peace, and I'm going to play Misthollow Griffin. Okay, now they have to remove Rest in Peace, or counter Helm, or shuffle my deck after I Enlighten Tutor. Those are the things that can happen. This is basically all happening just in time, because Vial's on 5 next turn, and I can't beat that. Yeah, Field of Ruin would have messed me up there, because you have to shuffle. Okay, 2 cards in hand, one of them Solitude. Okay, they decided to just move to combat. They tap some mana. They're attacking me with the Germ. I'll block with Misthollow Griffin. They gain 4 life, and Griffin is castable next turn. That's so satisfying. Just goes into the can't be cast pile. You love to see it. Okay, end step, they draw a card. I'm going to fetch my Plateau here. I don't want them to get any tricky things of, like, Wasteland the Plateau, or Wasteland the Fetch land to make the Enlightened Tutor. Like, I obviously just let them waste that. Maybe it's exactly the same. Okay. They went for it here instead. E-Tutor. They saw this off as Surgical 150 years ago. Do you have the answer for it? Is the question that I asked you. Helm of Obedience on top of the deck. They put their Vial up to 4, which means they're not going to Flicker Wisp my Rip here. And the Vial's not on 2. They can't Phyrexian Revoker the Helm, and I have Plow if they did. Still porting my Mountain. Don't need it for where we're going. Okay, Helm of Obedience. Cool. All right. That was a frustrating exercise in trying to find Rest in Peace, but we got there eventually. I do think Back to Basics is the right way to pressure their mana, not Blood Moon. Because if they have white 3, like even if the 3 is red, they can still cast all their spells, but white lands tap forever is a different thing. I don't think I want Mindbreak Trap. That might sound insane for me to say out loud, but just like getting into a fair mid-game like that, like the Force of Will costing 5, where Mindbreak Trap just does the same thing for 4, or actually a better thing for 4. I believe this is the deck that I have that can do the best in the matchup. I had Brazen Borrowers in the first build of the deck, and I miss the hell out of them now. Like, this is a great spot for them. Oof. Here's the Rip, have the Force Misthollow combo, but you can't just keep Volcanic Island versus Death and Taxes. Ugh, being betrayed by the deck. Oh no. This land doesn't even cast Ponder, we're going to 5. Okay. Keep. Put back one of the Rips and the Back to Basics. It's probably worse than Rune Halo here. Though I can't get Basic Planes anyway. This might be a tough one. Death and Taxes only beats these big, basic-heavy blue decks when you stumble on mana, and Multi 5 into no Basic Planes is one of the ways where that can happen. I have a path to the exit here. It will take me 5 mana to do it. If they Thalia here, that's tough. If I can find Basic Planes, like, quick. If I can play a Basic Planes this turn, I will feel totally fine this game. If I have to fetch non-basics, I'm going to be pretty worried. Which it appears that I do. Tundra, I think I get Volk. just lean all the way in. Alright, fine. Prismatic Ending, and I just am dead to Wasteland here. We mulled to 5 trying to play around Wasteland and still couldn't do it. Rashad Port, not as bad as Wasteland, still not good though. Thalia, also a problem. Okay, deck, land right now. Land right now. Okay, Ponder, land right now. Land right now. 3 lands on the top with Ponder. Just show them to me. Oh god, gotta shuffle the 3 spells. Shuffle. Ugh! I've been here enough times. Basically, if you just have 3 basic lands in play, you can't lose, but when your draw comes together like this, it is actually really hard to win. Recruiter of the Guard for Sanctum Prelate. I don't play a Terminus, which is one of the ways out of this. I considered a Pyroclasm or a Kozilek's Return, but then thought, nah, Death and Taxes isn't a deck people play online. Land? Oh, we did it. I'm playing the game, kids. I think I get basic planes here. That's the most important color that's happening right now. And I am going to jam the Rip. That just turns on a bunch of other stuff. Rune Halo, Thalia, whatever. Not interested. My plan is to get to 6 lands and kill them with Enlightened Tutor. And we'll see how they want to use the Sanctum Prelate. Recruiter. Okay, they don't even want to use the Prelate. They're just recruiting, trying to get it shut down a different way. What do you look for here? Spirit of the Lab? Oh, Lauren of the Third Path. That's annoying. Hopefully Dress Down pays me out there. Ooh, the second Caracas. Oh, but an actual spell to cast with it. Ah, we stuffed the Sam. They still get to be a ring bearer, but at least they don't get to buy back their thing. Cool. I actually feel good about that turn. Weirdly enough. My life total is dwindling. If I just run lands here, if I find another land right now, I get to dress down the Lauren and play Enlightened Tutor while Thalia's sleeping. Instead, I'll just do nothing and fuck myself. But at least I can dress down the Lauren. If they have a land, they can port me, then play Lauren. Hate that. Okay, dress down in response. This turns off all these jerks, but doesn't matter. They all have power and toughness. I can't punish the... Right, this is 2, this is 6 damage, so I'm still dead on board. I don't think I'm going to have time to thread this. Actually, if I runner lands here... No, they still have exactly 6. Damn it. Just basically came down to missing land drops here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, even if I play Griffin, they have 6. If I play 4th Aerolingus, I only get 1 blocker. Rune Halo only stops 1 thing. Yep. Hit my land drops, can't lose. Mull to 5. Miss on a Ponder. Lose immediately. That's how Death and Taxes goes. That's how they win games. On to the next round. You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7-Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7-Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7-Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7-Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better. I'm on the draw for round 3. I'm going to keep my hand. I know it's not pretty, but I think at this point in the league, I have to just keep hands that do anything. Ancient Tomb. Painter Servant. Okay, that card's really good. Am I dead? They painted it blue and bobbled me. Can I have a Swords to Plowshares, please? Yes, I can. Easy. Easy game. Always had it. I'm just going to send it now before they can untap and red blast me. Force of Will pitching Aether Spellbomb, sure. That was going to work on their turn or mine. Might as well send it. And here is exactly the matchup I called out when I said Runed Halo can name Grindstone. Please don't have the extra mana right now. Just give me this. Nobody can give me anything. Hate this. Hate this. Just turn 2 Goldfish with Force backup. Pretty good. I mean, hard to be mad about that. Okay. They are a blue painter deck. I want actual Pyroblast. Back to Basics does kind of rule. They don't need damage to win, so I'm going to get rid of Energy Field. The Ruined Halo was about to stabilize, but you know they just turn 2'd me. I win that game on the play. You know, what do you want? I did my best. Supreme Verdict might be mid. I like the rips. I like the plows. I like the removal. Lavinia actually seems pretty solid. Dress Down seems great. Uh-oh, I like all my cards. What do I do? Supreme Verdict is another cut. Spell Snare hits Painter. Oh, Flusterstorm? We saw Force of Will, but Flusterstorm's probably medium here. Right, my sideboard has Meltdowns in it. I should probably consider that card against the artifact-based Urza Saga strategy. Okay, I need another cut for the other Meltdown. Blood Moon might be better than Back to Basics in the matchup. Is there a Saga deck? I think it just kills it outright. And Saga's not very good against Back to Basics either. No, I actually like Back to Basics, because I function better under that, like I said last round. Maybe Lavinia is actually mediocre. Okay. This is what I'm doing. My hand has Meltdown in it. I'm going to keep Meltdown and Swords to Plowshares. That's what I want in the world. This hand actually still loses to what they did last game, though. This is pretty fucked up, because this hand's great. Bonder. Spell Snare. Another Plow. Rip. I like all these cards. I'm going to draw the Spell Snare now and the Rip next turn. Ancient Tomb. They're actually doing it twice. It's happening again. They even have the bauble. This is literally exactly the same as last game. Okay. Well, Swords to Plowshares. Okay, it wasn't the same. They didn't have the force this time. And I would like to hold up Spell Snare rather than Ponder here. Seed of the Synod. Big ol' Thought Cast for 3. Lotus Petal. That dies to Meltdown. Lotus Petal. Okay, I don't think I'm going to get to melt these down. Alright, they're just cashing that in for a Thought Cast. Okay. I think I would like to Ponder, hit my land, and play Rest in Peace this turn. Why would my land show up? Shuffle this. Land, please. Oh my god. Okay. Passing the turn. With no land. And I do have Meltdown with Force backup. At some point, I hope that will win me a game. Emery. I have Rest in Peace I can jam next turn. I'm just going to let this happen. But didn't I identify 8-cast as a deck that doesn't really use its graveyard? I was wrong. It does. Shadow Spear. That's going to die to the Meltdown when we get there. Cast. 4 cards in your hand. Another Petal. Let's hang those in play. Soul Guide Lantern. That's actually really funny. Knowing what I know and what they don't know. And they're bobbling me now. Is there a land on top, opponent? Please tell me there is. Force of Will. Alright, well, rest in peace. Let's turn this Emery off. They know I just drew Force. Okay, Emery is a 2-3 lifelink on this board. Once they equip her with Shadow Spear. The Soul Guide Lantern is just a free draw now that they don't have to think about my graveyard at all. Urza Saga, pretty good. Equipping the Spear. Someday I'll draw a land. Is it possible? Nope. Yeah, my hand actually just doesn't do anything. I can't even, like, Fourth Aerolingus. I'm not going to Prismatic Ending the Shadow Spear. Am I dead to the constructs? Orcish Bowmaster. Alright, well, finally, something to do about something. Spell Snare that. Scoreboard. Spell Snare got something, everybody. Suddenly, black mana emerges. Okay, so this construct is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then they'll make another one in tutor, so that's 9, 10, 11. Okay. I actually can survive a turn of construct action. Holy smokes. There's the Helm, but, like, that's... Where are my lands? Where are they? Where could they be? Do I have to emergency Prismatic Ending just to save a couple of damage here? Nope. I'm just gonna pass. I can't kill the Emery anyway. Yep, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9. Do you play a Welding Jar? I would lose on the spot to that card. Haywire Might. Okay. That can jack up my Rest in Peace, which is a shame because that's exactly what's going to happen. And it's totally free to do. A follow-up Saga? Why? Nothing is ever going to go my way. Backup Rest in Peace. Ha! You thought you were out from under it, but you're not. Put all your permanents in the graveyard except for Emery and then kill me with her anyway. They exile my Rip. They don't gain 2 life. Scoreboard. And then I lose to this other Urza Saga. And all these artifacts in their graveyard for Emery. Containment Priest. What do they think I'm doing? That's really interesting. Well, I'm dead to that. I'll force it. Okay, maybe my land count... I mean, I have 20 lands with the normal 8 cantrip suite. Maybe that's just not enough. Maybe this deck just needs Lurton Revealed, even if we're not recurring it from the graveyard. Because this is 2 in a row where our hand is just full of everything we need to win the game, but we can't actually cast it. And opponent didn't do anything about it. It's just like, Yeah, didn't need to. What are you worried about? Ruined Halo. All right. That was really embarrassing. On to the next round. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the play in round number 4. I'm going to keep this hand. I know it's a one-lander. Brainstorm is worse than Ponder in these spots, but I'm ready to take some risks. I have the thing. I have Force plus Miss Hollow Griffin. We're going to get paid at least once this league. All right, deck. Deliver me the goods. Draw for turn. It's Swords to Plowshares. Uh-oh. Are they going to stifle me? Oh my god. I was not ready for this timeline. Okay. Not on basic forest, they're not. Oh, something's happened. They're going to try to make a can of rhinos in response. Sure. I have the force. And they might force me back here. It's my turn, so Force Negation's also online. Okay, cool. We got away with it. And they spent 2 Spirit Guides on that. All right, Brainstorm, just give me 3 lands here. Oh my god. Well, Flusterstorm's good against the reload. Lavinia dumpsters their deck. If they just follow up with a Shardless Agent right now, though, I'm dead. They'd need a 3rd Spirit Guide. They are spending mana, though. I understand that my deck is not, like, particularly competitive, but also, come on now. Even within, like, the reasonable expectation of lands and spells over the course of a game versus what my opponent's been doing to me unstoppably. Okay. I mean, Supreme Verdict, you can take a break. Swords to Plowshares, you can take a break. I'm going to Prismatic Ending one of these things and then try to play the game. Tundra ending, getting turn 1 with Force back up versus the Painter deck where I had the stop in my hand if I got a turn 2. The double Crashing Footfalls on the first turn cycle from this deck after missing a land drop where I have Flusterstorm in my hand. Shit's wild. All right, you want to play a 3rd one? Okay, Beseiju, no Shardless Agent. Thank merciful Poseidon. Okay, I think I Swords to Plowshares first, and then I can Flusterstorm, additional action. Maybe I'm supposed to Brainstorm there, but having the board under control and not tapping out a Flusterstorm seems pretty good. They are approaching Minsk and Boo mana, though, which is a card that this deck plays. 4th Aerlingus. I'm going to Brainstorm. Jeez. Okay, 4th Aerlingus and Swords to Plowshares can chill. Next turn, I'm playing Lavinia, I guess, with Force backup. Okay, they've got 4 cards in their hand. Lavinia, question mark. Sideboard card in the main deck. At least my Hateful Technology has shown up. Even though we're losing a lot, we do have to acknowledge that main deck Rest in Peace slowed down some people, affected game plans meaningfully. Lavinia, I now have in play versus this Cascade deck. Okay, Petty Theft. I think I just forced this. Pitching one of the Flusters. That makes it so they don't have the 3-1 beater, and they have to get through this Lavinia, and they can't force me back. They can try, though. Force Negation countered. Can we get a Shame Concede? Can we get one? Yeah, we can. Nice. All right, on the board. Main deck Lavinia, too good. Once again, Narset moves to the front because she should have been there the whole time. Deafening Silence shuts down Violent Outburst, but it doesn't shut down Shardless Agent. This deck has Beseijus and Brazen Borrowers, which means that Energy Field is not a lock. Ruined Halo can't name Boo token or Rhino token. That one's just right out. Maybe I just need Force of Negation in here too, keep the Rhinos out of play. Spell Snare, that hits Petty Theft and Fire Ice. Dress Down doesn't do anything in the matchup. You're out of here. It's a blue card, that's what it does for the matchup. Supreme Verdict good. Back to basics. This is actually a deck that can play Blood Moon, so I don't think I want back to basics here. Narsets and Forces in. My blue count's actually up by 1. Pyroblast. Opponent said in the chat, nightmare matchup, Lavinia main. I guess I better go play tennis. Yeah, I mean, we have fulfilled the brief from King of the Depths, even if it's not a successful outing. We are at least doing what we're supposed to do. Pyroblast is a way better answer to Petty Theft than Spell Snare is, and then this can also hit stuff like Murktide Regent on the top end, if they have anything like that, plus Fight Counter Wars. Way more interested in that than Spell Snare. On second, Blush, Flusterstorm, Lavinia in the main. Like, these are both sideboard cards people bring in against Cascade decks, and I just have them. That feels pretty good. I think I'm going to shave one of the Supreme Verdicts. They are a clean answer and a blue card to multiple Rhinos, but also they cost 4, and if this opponent comes out blazing, that's bad for me. Okay, we have Rip Field in the opening hand. Force Griffin. I need a white source, and we're gaming. I'm keeping. Opponent kept 7 again. We saw what they did last game. They clearly know how to keep explosive hands. Forest. There was a little pause, then they passed. I wonder if they were deciding if they're supposed to main or end step their can of Rhinos. Looks like upkeep was the decision. Doing it in my upkeep turns on Force Negation. I hope that that pause about where they were supposed to do this means they didn't have it. All right, they had Force of Will, so samesies. Okay. White source actually is the nuts here. Or, you know, white card that I can't play. I do have, so this will put me to 11. White source right now might actually win the game. They just played Boseiju. White source, yes! Not only is it a white source for the Rest in Peace, but I can Prismatic Ending. I think I play the Rip, though. Or do I just end the Rhino, and then... Alright, I think ending the Rhino is probably safer and smarter, even though it's less fun. Yeah, I could just kill all these things and not take damage from them anymore, or I could play this convoluted 2-turn line that dies to Force of Will or Boseiju, or Petty Theft at any point off the top. Yeah, I'll do this one, thanks. White source. Nice. Okay, we're out here gaming. Prismatic Ending, Rest in Peace. Hooks are almost in here. That also shuts off any kind of Murktide pivot that they might have. Hooting Mandrills. Those are all cards that could be played in this deck. And I'm going to run out the Mist Hollow. I don't want to show them the energy field. Let me just put a Griffin into play. So I do die to Violent Outburst here, which if I played the energy field, I don't. Unpunished, though. Got away with it. Swords to Plowshares. Good stuff. All right, I'm going to deploy the field. Just make sure I don't lose. Force Negation. Yeah, good call. Force pitching, force. Okay. Now I actually do have to figure something out, because this Griffin, my life total is dead to a can of Rhinos. Those Swords to Plowshares gives me a turn to unlock Supreme Verdict. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I just have to keep attacking. It doesn't get better if I don't attack. Can't live in fear. Uh-oh. I'm suddenly fearful. Flusterstorm off the top, Lavinia. Okay, they had gone in my upkeep a number of times before. Maybe end step's better now that we're at sweeper mana. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, endurance, sure. That's fine. That just puts the Griffin into exile. Right where it belongs. Then I plow endurance and replay Griffin. I'm glad the Griffin is finally doing what it's supposed to do. The master plan come together. I actually don't even need to plow the endurance. I'll make them do something first. I'll just block it forever and ever. Uh-oh, mana number 4. Minsk and Boo. Okay, block. Never not blocking. Flooded Strand. I'll hold on to that for a Brainstorm. It is clear to me that they don't have a can of Rhinos. As soon as they draw a Violent Outburst, I'm in trouble. I don't care about Shardless Agent at all. In fact, I welcome Shardless Agent. Let's go! Called it. Welcome, Shardless Agent. You heard me speaking of you. Okay, we got Furies in the deck, Endurances. Basically stuff you'd expect in a deck like this. Lorien Revealed. Take a seat, opponent. Supreme Verdict them. And deploy the girl. Pew pew. Okay. They can't pitch cast elementals. If they find land number 5 and cast Fury, that's actually tough. I still think holding on to this land for Brainstorm considerations is better than dropping Swords to Plowshares. Plow would have been better against the Minsk and Boo off the top. Gotta hope they don't have those. I can plow an endurance if it jumps in to battle me, and they can't really fight back because of Lavinia. I am just gonna push my damage. And Big Misty coming back through again. The hollow one, the real hollow one. Mist Hollow Griffin. And now I have enough lands that I can move Brainstorms around. I'll drop another one out here. I'll need a fetch land to shuffle the Brainstorm anyway. Now I'm actually okay versus Minsc and Boo. Oh, fire. I'm fired. Yeah, that works. I could just plow the token and then kill Minsc and Boo on the backswing, but that's not what happened here. Ponder. My deck plays cantrips? I forgot. Haven't seen one in a very long time. Force of Negation and another Ponder. Okay. I'm going to put the Force of Negation in my hand with the Ponder under it. Now I'm worried about very little. They're tapping mana. Shardless Agent. Force of Negation. I can pay for a Mystical Dispute here. Didn't have to. That's 3 cans of Rhinos answered. The deck usually doesn't play more than that. I have been blown out by Cascade decks in the past by saying they only play 3 and then they get me with the 4th one. But pretty sure they don't have another one of those. Okay. I don't need another Rip. I will take a Brainstorm. I can fetch here. Do have to watch my life total a little bit at this point. But now Helm of Obedience is the dub. And there's Enlightened Tutor to make it happen. Okay, I'm just going to turtle up versus this Shardless Agent and pass. They're attacking. I wonder if they have Fire Ice here to finish it off. Violent Outburst. Yeah, for the trade. Do you have more Rhinos, or am I just going to look at your deck right now? All right, yeah, we just get to look at the whole deck. Blood Moon was brought in. 1 Minsc and Boo. Hull Breacher, yikes. That one was not on my radar, but it should have been. Okay, you've defeated my Griffin at the cost of 2 cards. And end of turn, I'll shuffle my Brainstorm in the most horrific possible way. Enlightened Tutor. I could do a force count from the deck they just revealed, but I'm just going to jam. This is what I'm doing anyway. Might as well just do it. We got the GGs in the chat, though. Okay, finally. The main deck hate, the Lavinia versus the deck that's built on paying 0 for their spells. We did it. Something happened. On to the next round. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. I'm on the draw in the final round with an Island Ponder situation. I'm in. Volcanic Island from the opponent, Dragon's Rage Chandler. Okay. Rest in peace. Can we do what we're built to do? This is also a matchup where just hitting my first few basic lands is going to be really important. Fetch the island, send the Ponder. Please don't daze me. Please see 3 lands in this Ponder. Okay, it's not 3 lands, but I will take 2, or take 1. I will take as many lands as I could get. And this will put back to basics in my hand as well. I'm going to shuffle away the other Rest in Peace. And I can end this DRC next turn with Flusterstorm protection. My hand right now is pretty bad against Bowmaster. But that has been a whole theme, hasn't it? I had an Esper build of this at one point that had my own Bowmasters, because that is a hateful permanent. It's just really hard fitting room for everything that needs room in this deck. Delver, okay. I can Brainstorm first, or I can just make sure my Prismatic Ending happens. I think I want the Shuffle. So I know there's at least one bad card there. The Shuffled and the Guaranteed Pressure off are both really nice. And I am going to go for the Delver, because my plan is to eventually stabilize this Dragon's Rage Channeler with the Rest in Peace. And Delver still bashes for 3 in that world. A Wasteland, we did it. Anti-metagame deck paying off. At least for now. It's terrifying they haven't cast a single spell, though. That makes me feel like they gotta have Bowmaster. Okay, I'm gonna Prismatic Ending this now. I really don't want to just Brainstorm into a Bowmaster here, but we can play Cat and Mouse for a little bit. If they play a Bowmaster, I'll Brainstorm in response. Oh, they're gonna seek the Beast to your Rug. Okay, I'm gonna Flusterstorm that, actually. No thanks. Just a little 3 for 1. It's actually a 1 for 1, but it represented possibly 3 cards. We're gonna count those in my brain every time. Okay, this could still be like the grade pile that has 4 colors and plays Bowmaster. Just gotta watch myself. A Ponder. I haven't given them anything to daze yet, Ponder's less of a beating versus Bowmaster. Okay, I'm going to send a Ponder. I do need to start getting some lands together here. Wastable land, double Lavinia. This is actually like worse than just not having a land. I'm going to shuffle it. Come on, basic land. Tilt. Yeah, Lorien Revealed should be in this deck. It just keeps becoming more obvious every turn that we play. Opponent's got a Ponder here. And they didn't Bowmaster my Ponder, which is a good sign. I wish they'd just crack the Scalding Tarn and just show me a tropical island so I can stop being scared of the possibility of Bowmaster. That would be nice. Mishra's Bauble didn't shuffle their Ponder. Bobbling me. Please tell me there's a Plains there. Their Bauble triggers. Can I get a land? Absolutely not. But now I can force a Bowmaster. Brainstorm, send it. Oh no! Really? Come on. Like, Alright, I'm just not even going to speak. Okay. I will put the Brainstorm back on top, and I'll pass the turn. Then 20 lands with 8 cantrips, and all of the selection is a perfectly responsible legacy mana base. You can't tell me otherwise. I know I'm misspelled, but we don't need to be also just ridiculously, brutally, unrepentantly punished by variants as well. Okay, Tropical Island confirmed. Can't wait for them to cast a Murktide Regent after me sitting with Rest in Peace in my hand for literally 6 turns now. Yep. What a shocking surprise. What a weird twist. Who would have thought that this could happen? I was about to say I'm going to cast Rest in Peace next turn no matter what. As long as I'm not, like, losing to the board. But I might be losing to the board. Still playing around Days. Okay, the Murktide went to the graveyard. I'm shoving Rest in Peace here. I'm not trying to Brainstorm for a land. I know I'm Brainstorm locked. Let's just cast this meaningful spell. And if this unlocks their Days, that's fine. I have more of these. Me missing all my lands. Going into turn 6 here. The Days is going to be on eventually. They can just decide if they care about this Rest in Peace or not. It's in. Good. Go. Take your turn. This back to basics is looming, though. And Miss Hologriffin on forever blocking duty in this matchup. One of the things I envisioned, and that has come together a few times, at least that theory bore out a little bit. Their main phase Seeking the Beast. They exiled Brainstorm and Misty Rainforest. Full value on that one. Beastorm. They're looking at 8 cards right now. That's a lot of those. I will be brainstorming on my turn, trying to find some action here, move these lands around. This is one of those decks that has like one Brazen Borrower, maybe, in their main deck as far as answering a rip field goes. I'm drawing Helm of Obedience this turn, which also I'm not mad about just having in my hand. Just, if my lands come together, I can slam back to basics, must counter, into Helm of Obedience, must counter. And they're just pondering over there. These are not threats. I like that. Any version of events where there's not a threat in play favors me. Eventually. And now Murktide is just a brick. Dragon's Rage Channeler is a 1-1 with some selection attached. This Questing Druid is actually the realest path to victory for them right now. They did not shuffle. Okay, deck. Here we go. Please. Cut the bullshit. Oh my god. I said cut the bullshit, not pile it on. Okay, Ruined Halo on Questing Druid actually seems pretty solid here. Or at least as good as it's going to get. Ruined Halo. Get in there. Let's buy some more time. We're in there. Questing Druid. Okay. They can't cast Murktide until they have 7 mana. Dragon's Rage Channeler is a mopey little 1-1. Questing Druid can't hit me. They got Delver of Secrets in the deck. We have seen those. This Wasteland is just going to send me back to the Stone Age. You know, for as non-functional as my game plan has been, we're actually just like still alive here and doing pretty good. Which is a testament to how the deck lines up against decks like this. Like spot removal, interaction. Hit your land drops is the only part of the puzzle we're missing. Which is a big part of the puzzle. I'm just going to plow this DRC right now while we're all hanging out. That's one of the only things in their deck left that can still hurt me. I'm not going to try to brainstorm. I need to see every single card. I just want every opportunity to hit this 3rd land and make something happen. Another wasteland. They're ready for whenever the someday, the theoretical world where I have a third land. Petty theft targeting Ruined Halo. Okay. They're back in business, folks. That did just spend their petty theft, but it was a good way to spend it. And they forgot to attack. Awesome. Still had Ruined Halo in play. Cool. Okay, Brainstorm. How about it, buddy? Can I have just 3 lands? I'll take 1 land. Okay. They just spent Brazen Borrower. I don't think they're going to have a lot of those. Put back Rest in Peace, and it seems wild to put the Helm away, but it's actually not helping me right now. And I think I just plow the Questing Druid. Or maybe I pass the turn and then plow the Questing Druid. I'll wait. I have this feeling they're going to seek the Beast in the end step. I want to do my plow in response. Psychic Readings. Okay, plow the Questing Druid. I'm doing it before Seek resolves because they can flip counterspells off of Seek and cast them. Also, this is 1 less life they gain. Okay, that's gone. They can Seek their Beast. They exiled Daze and Dragon's Rage Channeler. I'm going to fetch now. I don't expect Stifle out of this deck, but I don't want to be the fool. I know I want to shuffle. I know I need a land. I know I'm getting a basic. Just there's no decisions to make here except play around Stifle, which is free to do. Questing Druid's back. Still have my Ruined Halo. Can't currently cast it. I also have Prismatic Ending. Dragon's Rage Channeler. 1/1 that pumps the other 1/1. If I draw a land, I think I'm slamming back to basics. Oh. Force backup on the back to basics. Send that. The first Dazeable spell in a while. I hope they force this. Nice, they did. They did force it. That makes the Questing Druid bigger. But that means they don't have Daze. I'm going to let them Surveil before they decide, or before I force this. They milled a Misty Rainforest. Aggressive. Okay, force your force. Okay, they had another force. That makes sense. All right. Oh, we got them mostly empty here, though. A now playing Mist Hologriffin every turn is a pretty nice stabilization. I'm at 13. I'm taking 5. I can end the Questing Druid. So I go to 8 here. End the Druid. They play Brazen Borrower, put me to 4. I'm getting very close to bolt range. Lavinia, not helpful. Prismatic Ending, the biggest creature. Please don't have more counterspells. Okay, that's gone. They can put me to 4. They forgot to Brazen Borrow, or they just didn't Brazen Borrow. Whatever it was, that card's not in play when I really thought it was going to be. Okay, deck. The land for Miss Hologriffin, and they didn't attack. What's going on over there? Are they having, like, significant internet trouble? Because that's multiple attacks they didn't make that were wide open. I actually probably should be dead already. Okay, I'm going to start with Brainstorm. We are in business. Land. I would actually rather play the Ruined Halo and let them wasteland me this turn. And I'm going to name Brazen Borrower for this. That's the biggest creature they're showing me right now. End step wasteland on my Tundra. Sure. So 1, 2, 3 from last turn, 4 from last turn. And there was a Druid that was a 2 or 3. So 6 or 7 damage missed from just either clicking through combat or forgetting you have a spell. I don't know. I feel like this might not be the best testing, but I mean, control decks exist to leverage opponents and make the game last a long time. Basic Plains, now I'm unstoppable. I mean, Double Bolt still just gets me done here, but Mist Hologriffin, forever. The forever blocker, bigger than all the creatures that they can actually still play. Questing Druids, 1, 2, 3 of them already answered. They might have 1 reasonable win condition left in the deck, other than Double Bolt. That's their best win condition. Okay, start the slow turnaround. Lavinia, get in there. I don't know what you're going to do, but get in there. I'm going to sandbag this 5th land. I don't want it to get picked off by Wasteland, and as long as I have it, Helm off the top is instant GG. If I only have 4 mana, I have to pass and hope it holds up. It is interesting that they're not even playing the Brazen Borrower. I know I have protection from it, but my creatures don't. Pew pew. Shields up. What do you say? Hardcast Force of Will? Or did we turn this around? After 15 turns of pain. Yeah! And I definitely should have lost. They missed at least 6 damage in combat, and I won at 6, but whatever, scoreboard. I'm not sure what happened there, but I like it. Pyroblast, Basic Mountain, Narset. I like all these. Blood Moon, actually pretty tempting. I generally don't like 3-mana land punishes versus Delver decks, but in this deck that really needs to lock its opponent out because it's not really outdrawing anyone or doing anything really productive or useful, I think you just want to maximize Prison Elements. Dress Down and Lavinia, both largely ineffective versus this deck. I don't love Force of Will, but winning fights over some of these lock pieces is kind of like playing Show and Tell. So I probably want some of them. Hydroblast, will find targets, Seek the Beast, DRC. Alright. Flusterstorm I like. Spell Snare I like. Maybe I just go Forceless and call it what it is, a Delver matchup. The thing I said about probably wanting Force because you play kind of like a combo deck is still true, but I did just bring in a bunch of 1-mana interaction. I got 2 lands in my opener. They don't get basic planes, but they do cast spells. I'm going to go with it for now. And I have Rip Field just hanging out here. The combo is ready. And I have Spell Snare for the Petty Theft. Got a little bit of everything here. I hope they cast Ponder and not Dragon's Rage Chandler right now, or Delver. Yeah! Okay. That's the first major hurdle. If I have to fetch Tundra to cast this Prismatic Ending, the game gets a lot harder. If I get to hit land drops and make basics and buy enough time that a plane shows up, I'm feeling way better about the situation. And them not having a 1-drop immediately took the pressure off quite a bit. The Mountain is here. We'll see if that's helpful ever. The Mountain's tricky because your main deck only has wastable red sources, and when you need both Pyroblast, when you need Pyroblast versus a deck with Wasteland, it's when it gets annoying. And sometimes your opponent plays 2 1-drops on turn 2 instead of a 2-drop into your Spell Snare. They had the read that I'm playing Spell Snare. This Ponder likely to set up the Delver. Basic planes right now just makes me a happy camper. They did not shuffle that Ponder. Come on, planes! Brainstorm, okay. Well, I'm going to fetch my Tundra here. I'm going to do the thing I'm supposed to do, which is kill the Delver. And the Brainstorm at least gives me basic land Brainstorm for a future world. Wowee, aggressive. Force of Negation pitching Daze. Alright, you have a Delver. Enjoy that. If they Wasteland me and cast Murktide here, the game is basically over. Alright, Delver Flip revealing Brainstorm. Wasteland is the first test. If I can get over that hump, we're good. There's a B-Storm. That's 3 more looks at Wasteland. There it is. They found it. Might have had it the whole time, but confirmed it's here now. Bobbling me. I will be drawing that card. I'm not just randomly fetching here. Is it a Flooded Strand opponent? That's what I want. You draw a card. I draw a card. It's basic planes. Pow, 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 pow. Okay, I'm going to fetch Basic Island and shove this Rest in Peace. That's in. And then next turn, oh, I can't play the Spell Snare. Oh, okay. I need another blue source in order to Spell Snare, but that did shut down Murktide, which was my next order of business. Energy Field dies to Pyroblast, which is certainly a card that they're going to have in their deck. Oh, nice. Okay. Prismatic Ending, the Delver. I can Spell Snare a Seek the Beast. What's all this? Hardcast Force of Negation, fascinating. Okay. Energy Field. Don't daze me. They pitched a Daze to Force a second ago. Oh, we're in there. Okay. If they just Red Blast Energy Field, they're fine. If they Petty Theft the Rest in Peace, that's a temporary reprieve. And we'll see how this shakes out. They... Yep, yeah, they just had the Pyroblast. That's fine. That's the thing that can happen. Okay, the next white source, Supreme Verdicts. I still got Plows and Endings in my deck, and my own Red Blasts. And they're down to 1 card in their hand. Come on, deck. Caracas. That does cast Supreme Verdict. Yeah, I'm actually just not going to mess around here. Get this thing out. They got one card left in their hand. Put it away. They did not seek a beast in the end step. If they pass here, I'm going to feel pretty good about the Spell Snare. Oh no. They have a 2-drop in their main phase. That's the best time to do that. There it is. Disappointing. It exiled Bauble Brainstorm and full value off of it. Cool. Solid draw. That's okay. I can Spell Snare the Questing Druid on the way down if they want to use this Brainstorm this turn. They do still have a land drop. If they Brainstorm into land, play Questing Druid, they have perfectly navigated my Spell Snare. There's the Bee Storm. Oh, Wasteland? Okay. I don't actually mind that. If they spend this turn wasting me instead of playing their Beast, that's great. Deal. Okay. They saw my top card and decided to Wasteland me instead of play their Beast. I wonder if it's Helm. That'd be cool. Oh, it's Flooded Strand. Interesting Wasteland. Okay. I'm just going to play it and pass. I'm prepared to Spell Snare this Questing Druid all day. No, thank you. That's gone. Oh no, there's more stuff. Another threat? That hardly seems fair. How does your deck have so many threats in it? Well, mine has so few. Ooh, Supreme Verdict. Is this a spot where I mess around? My Tundra's already gone. I have to fetch Basic Plains if I'm going to Verdict here. I think it's fine. I could get Plateau, but I mean as far as blue sources that cast Supreme Verdict go, I'm not worried about red source. I'm worried about having enough blue to play the game on. Because I can't currently cast a Mist Hollow Griffin. Another Delver, oh no! Yeah, that's the risk of Supreme Verdicting one thing, because if they just have another Delver next turn, you're in trouble. Alright, Brainstorm, fix it for me. 4th Aerlingus, interesting. If I put back Flooded Strand Brainstorm, and then just jam a boat full of horses in, and obviously they get the Monarch too, but only if Delver flips. I'm going to attack with 1 horse. Okay, the Monarch's been introduced. I need Delver not to flip. I also could have just not attacked there and not introduced the Monarch and just have 2 creatures, but I actually want it involved. No flip, no flip, no flip. Pyroblast is a great draw though, clears the Delver, and then I just crack the Monarch back. Delver didn't flip. And they're taking the shuffle. You didn't like that card, whatever it was. Hopefully it's something that was a brick to rest in peace. Just make me feel smart for my deck building. Which hasn't happened much in this league. Seeking a Beast. Exiles, Ponder, Brainstorm. Okay. That's a lot of digging. Land from hand just happened. Ponder. Lightning Bolt's still alive for them to take the Monarchy. But if they do that, I'm at 6, I kill their Delver, crack them back for 4, I'm the Monarch. They're also at 4 minutes on their clock to my 15, and they have 2 games to win still. The leisurely pace of play has caught up in a big way here. The Ponder shuffled, now we're onto the Brainstorm. And we're just going to combat here. Shamefully hidden behind my horse army. I think I just keep smushing. I guess that's bad if they like force my Pyroblast. I'm going to go to my end step, draw a card, see if it's Flusterstorm, and then Pyroblast the Delver. Just going to get it now. Cool, it's gone. Alright, they would need a haste creature now to take the initiative from me. They're dying on life points, they're dying on clock points, and they're getting buried in cards. And a large part of their deck doesn't work because of Rest in Peace. Questing Druid is a big one, though. Delver. All these flyers. Actual Delver Secret. It's being cut from a lot of tempo decks these days, but it's been the key card in this entire matchup. Pyroblast. Alright, sweet. I'm going to send this Brainstorm in, see what happens. Another Rip, a Plow, and a Ponder. I don't want this Rip. I do want this Plow. I'm just going to play Flooded Strand and move to my end step and draw a card. And then I'm going to blast Delver. And my horses can trade with Questing Druid for now. And if it gets big enough to beat my horses, I can plow it. Brainstorm. If I fetch, I'm in double bolt range, which is a consideration for how I could lose this game still. We've seen 0 bolts yet in all the cards. Cracking a fetch, they're down to 10. Dragon's Rage Channeler makes Druid a 4-4. Dragon's Rage Channeler makes it a 5-5. I have used both my Supreme Verdicts, by the way. I think I plow this rather than try to chump block it. Because my 2 horses currently check the 2 Dragon's Rage channelers, but if I start chumping, then they get to start going wide. Ooh, force blue card were your last 2 cards in hand. Powerful stuff. Alright, I'm in chump block mode. They're down to 90 seconds, though. I think we're going to win this match on time, if not on actual gameplay. Like, clicking through multiple attack steps last game and then being almost half of our entire round clock behind me on clock now. I suspect my opponent is dealing with some internet issues on their end. But we take what we can get. Chump block. And I'm going to fetch because I'm certain that I don't want another Rest in Peace here. The Ruined Halo is actually a sick draw. The Helm is the best draw. Oh! E-Tutor. Ponder. I'm 1 short of doing it right now. I'm going to start with the Ponder, see if I can just rip it. Brainstorm, Rest in Peace, Vista. Okay, do I shuffle? Yeah, I'll shuffle. And I am just going to go all in here. Enlighten Tutor, put the Helm on top, move to my end step, draw Helm, pass the turn. They are drawing random from Hellbent here. They are going to get to take the initiative, or take the Monarchy. It's been a long time. I'm used to saying the initiative. They are going to get to take the Monarchy here just by sending everything. If they have a Lightning Bolt, they actually just like win-win. Well, F6, you know what I've got here. And this Ponder sees 5 cards, completely busted. Ponder's good when it sees 3 cards. Yeah, Brazen Borrower wins the game. Lightning Bolt wins the game. They chose to shuffle. We're going to combat. I'm going to 4 life. They might not even get through this turn on the clock. They're at 16 seconds. Yeah, you get the Monarch. Let's see if I can win this game fair and square. Helm of Obedience. Activate it. No glory to the clock. We did it. We actually won the game. Okay. We don't have to worry about my opponent's internet costing them the clock. Might have cost them some attack steps last game. They're still clicking through it, though. What a boss. Do you recognize that your deck's gone? Double Bolt in the end step? Oh, that would be so sweet. Okay. Tough start to the league. Rallied in the back end. This deck absolutely needs some source of card advantage. I think the Narsets are probably where we want to be. Those might be better than the main deck Lavinias. Just flip those and immediately the deck has the ability to draw cards at least. Mist Hollow Griffin was fun, but I don't know that it was actually good. There were a couple of games where it did the thing it was supposed to do. I pitched it to Force a few times. It always feels super sick. Maybe we play 1 Dress Down and 1 Griffin and play 2 Lorien Revealeds. This helps you hit those early basic land drops and then gives you a way to reload in the mid game. So now we have 2 Narset, 2 Lorien Revealed, where before we had 2 Lavinia, an extra Dress Down, and an extra Griffin. I think this is a step in the right direction. Obviously, I wish the deck performed better, but this is the deck building, tuning process at work in real time. If I had time to play 20 matches with this deck before I sent it, you know, maybe it would have been better on the first try, but step in the right direction. The theory was sound. Every time Rest in Peace was in play, I felt like it was doing something big. The slow plotting towards comboing off at all points felt really good. Even the games we were losing were frequently just like missed land drops, or we have A, can we find B? Or like the board is stable, can we do like literally freaking anything? I thought of Ruined Halo specifically because of Painter Grindstone. Maybe Teferi is a better card in this slot, but we are pretty soft to Grindstone combo. And the Ruined Halo was pretty cool a number of times. Spellseer, also a flex slot. I liked it a bit. This could just be Pyroblast if you're feeling crazy. Or you can't really play actual counterspell with this mana base. There's too many planes in it. You can main deck a Dovin's Veto. Or some such thing. There's some slots to play with here, but the idea, I think, is sound. Rest in Peace, just naturally good against the metagame, and then we have some stuff that capitalizes on Rest in Peace while we don't care about it at all. One step closer to solving the Eternal Weekend metagame. King of the Depths, thank you for this brew challenge. Everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.